Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zak's Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 2nd of May. Starting off with the S&P, where we've broken that line of resistance from August, which at one point it didn't look like we were going to do. We had a bounce above the rising 50-day moving average, which tends to be a continuation signal on the upside, and looking for 42.80 as soon as the end of this month, especially while we remain above the 41.50 to 41.60 area on an end of day close basis. Onto the stocks, and nice return to this following stock here, which is Baosheng Media, where we were looking for up to $8. Last week we managed to get 19, so I think we're quite pleased with that. So the line of resistance there from July heading to 19, so that explains the peak that we had yesterday for the shares. Currently, obviously, we're back down around the 13 level. Ideally, we hold above resistance on the way down, which was around the $11 area. That would be very useful indeed. Ultimate target here, if you're a fan of the shares, up to $26 or $27 there, which is a late 2021 resistance line projection. But looking with the upside to continue while we're above $11 at least over the near term at Baosheng. A stock which also has decent looking technical prospects at the moment is Cardlytics, which I did cover before. Here we were looking for up to $15 as soon as the end of this month. We've had the second unfilled gap to the upside here, and we closed above the 200-day moving average yesterday. The view now is that at least while we're above the floor of the gap, they're around $6.60, looking for $15 or $16 by the end of May, and ideally there's no end of day close back below $7.50, which was the old April peak. Onto a stock which I just kind of like, even though maybe there's no reason for liking it, well, not as much reason for liking it as I do. Here we've got China Natural Resources. We broke that line of resistance, which I was looking for it to be broken, around $2.50 the last time I looked at the stock, which I think was yesterday, and looking for $4.70 as soon as the end of next month, especially while we remain above the 200-day moving average around $2.75. Stock which hasn't done that much but still looks as though it could be one which has legs over the near term is Fuelcell. Here we've got a break of that falling wedge there from basically the end of last year. The line in question around $1.90. Above that we're looking for a resistance line or former support on the way down as high as $2.60. Now we move on to another stock which has legs at the moment, Iveric Bio, and here we were looking for the shares to hit the top of that rising trend channel from the latter part of last year, back in September. So we're looking for $35 perhaps by the end of this month. Obviously we've overshot the runway and going into higher territory. The view now is that above $35 we could see the shares head as high as $45 by the end of this month, so an upgraded move there. Second unfilled gap to the upside, in fact the third one in the recent past. So this stock looks as though it is really motoring and ready to push on. Moving on to another stock which is in a bullish kind of situation, JX, Lux Venture, and here you can see that we've powered through the 200-day moving average there around $8.60. Above that, looking for as high as $17 by the end of this month. Ideally, we stay above the old resistance for the shares, initial 2023 resistance, around the $10 mark. If we can do that, obviously the pre-market there around $10.80. If we can stay above $10, then we're looking at hopefully the $17 area. Early and end of day close back below the 200-day line, $8.70, really delaying or killing the idea of an ongoing move to the upside. Next stock is one which looks quite encouraging as well if you close in on it properly. Here we can see that MicroAlgo has delivered a decent massive key reversal to the upside. That's through the 50-day moving average around the $2.15 mark. Above that we're looking for the top of that rising trend channel from December as high as $4.20 as soon as the end of next month. But the key here is that we hold above that $2.10, $2.20 former resistance area for the shares. But exciting situation in prospect there. Moving along to another fresh name, Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, and here we've broken with a W-shaped reversal. We've broken neckline resistance around $13.70. Looking at the top of that rising trend channel from the summer of last year, as high as $18.30, perhaps by the end of next month. The key here, though, is remaining above the $13.80 zone and that neckline resistance. New stock over the near term for us here, Nano-X Imaging. Here we've got a massive unfilled gap to the upside. Looking with the shares to hold above resistance on the way down around $8.40. If they can do that and build on the end of day close above the 200-day moving average around $10.10, we could see a target as high as $16 by the end of next month, and hopefully a bit sooner than that. Good bullish divergence, but ahead of the move to the upside. That was the April low there, and higher RSI trace, but that bear trap that we had below $5.50. So Nano-X delivering for the bulls there. Another stock with decent technical prospects at the moment is On Semiconductor Corporation. Here we've had an unfilled gap to the upside above the rising 200-day moving average. It's a bear trap island reversal, so we gapped down last month and gapped up higher here, so that's very encouraging, and above the 50-day moving average at $78, looking for as high as $93 by the end of next month, and only really well below the old resistance on the way down, $74 or so. Last month would really delay the prospect of a move to the upside, or ongoing move to the upside. Just 3 stocks to go now, and what is quite a sizzling selection today. Sentage Holdings. Here we had a massive gap to the upside. We hit that line of resistance from the last summer around the $9 area. Obviously pulled back quite sharply, but barring an end of day close back below the old March resistance around the $3 level, we're still looking for a partial or even full retest of the $9 area, maybe by the end of next month. But 2 unfilled gaps to the upside does suggest that this situation will have legs, or would have legs, while it's above the $3 mark. On to the penultimate situation here. We've got Tantech Holdings. Here we've had a resistance break there from basically back in February around $3, closed above the 200-day moving average at $3.60. We need to stay above $3. They've got a pre-market level there around $3.05, above $3 on an end-of-day close basis. Still looking for the shares to fully or even partially revisit the recent resistance just shy of $8. If you're cautious, probably you'd wait for an end-of-day close back above the 200-day moving average to give us more assurance on momentum. Finishing off with UTime, and another massive mover here. Here we're basically looking at the old resistance on the way down, which was around the $2 mark. Above that on an end of day close basis, looking for $3, which is the top of that broadening triangle from way back in, well, basically this time last year. So $3 on the cards while we hold above $2 on an end of day close basis, and maybe we'd see $3 by the end of this month. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.